Hey guys, it's Tessa. So I thought for today's video we could talk a little bit about some of the yarn I have that I have no clue what I'm going to do with, and kind of like yap about it a little bit. Maybe you guys give me some suggestions below on what I should use yarn for. Let me know. But first I want to start off with our finished objects. I finally finished the Daft Days cardigan completely. So I do recommend checking out my video on it. It should either be live already or be going live soon. I talk a lot about my feelings on this pattern in that video. Mostly that I don't love the way part of the pattern is kind of designed almost. I don't really like. And I think also there could have been a better way of getting a similar effect visually than doing the stitch pattern we did, pretty much. So there's that. But yeah, go check it out. I'll pin it here if I've posted it already. So check the cards, all that jazz. You know the drill. But today, like I said, I thought I would talk about some of this glorious yarn here that I have on the side of my desk. Kind of what I'm thinking about doing with some of it. Or what I potentially want to do with some of it. Firstly, we have the Sheepsheas Katana. I don't know. This is the color Rust, and I have 6 skeins of it. It is 50 grams and roughly 140 yards a piece, if I can do the meter conversion. But so for this yarn, I'm just not really sure what I want to do with it. I don't love working with cotton. I've found out in a pattern I'm designing that cotton's just a lot heavier, even at this really small, fine gauge. Let me show you. So it's a really small, fine gauge. It recommends using like a 3 or 2.5 to 3.5 millimeter needles. So that's pretty small. It's even small for what I typically use. So I'm just not really sure what I'm thinking about using it for. I thought about maybe doing some crocheting. I know, crazy. And doing like the jasmine stitch to make like pot holders. Because we typically have a lot of our friends over. I make, typically our main dish. They bring like potluck style sides over and stuff. So instead of having the pot just sit on the stove top, maybe I make a pot holder. I'm having a stroke today. Maybe I make something so that I can just move it off the stove top at least. So it's a little bit less of a safety issue. I'm also sorry if I'm a little bit down today, or if my energy is not at its usual vibe. I have a migraine disorder and have been dealing with a lot of symptoms from that currently at the moment. For like the last 2 days I've been kind of having on and off migraines, so I'm a little bit more out of it than usual, but the longer I put off this video, the longer I won't have a video to post for the week for you guys. So I figured I would just hunker down and film this video because it shouldn't take me too long. Especially since a lot of my podcast videos are me just yapping at the camera for like 10, 15, 20 minutes. I figured why not. The next yarn we have is the Yarn Bee Authentic Hand Dyed. I don't typically shop at Hobby Lobby. I believe either I purchased this because I had a gift card, so the money was already spent at that point, or this was gifted to me. I don't really remember. I've had this in my stash for quite a while. This is 100% wool, in the color Hibiscus Palm. So it's basically rainbow. It's like what is it called? Like overdyed almost, overtoned. So like the magenta-y color has a lot of rich pigment in it. The yellow has rich pigment, so does the teal. Like it all has very rich, deep tones, which is what drew me to it initially. And this is 100 grams and 400 yards. So I thought about for this, because it's only 1 skein, and it's basically, is this a worsted? No, this would I think count as a DK because it recommends 3 millimeter needles. But could it be 30 stitches, 30 millimeter? I don't know. I'm gonna guess it's a DK roughly, maybe a little bit smaller than a DK. But I only ended up using. So I started with 955 yards of the shirt. You can actually see right there the top I made in the Drops Superwash Merino in Petrol. And ended up having only 91 grams left. So I used 141 grams, which is about 538 yards. So that is not too bad. It's not too bad, honestly. I think kind of what I could do to use less yarn than that is just not do the back shaping I did. So that's still blocking at the moment, but essentially you'll see it in an upcoming video. But what I ended up doing for that top, the pattern says to basically just cast off a number of stitches at the back and then keep working the front, so there's no like panel coming up the back. What I did was I just did 2 decreases at the edges of each side for every row on the back panel to kind of get that to come up to a point quicker. So I think that I could do something similar to this top, but instead stop at the spot it wants me to, and then continue working the front panel, and maybe I'll make it the right way. And that's a Jessie May ripple bralette. I've made 2 so far, that one and the black one. I'm going to do a video kind of talking about my thoughts on that pattern since I've made 2 of them at this point. And I like the pattern overall, so I'm thinking maybe using this for that as well, and just seeing how that works, see if that looks nice. I have 2 sock yarns here. These are both the Patone's Croy socks, so it's specifically their sock yarn. And I found this pattern, I'll put here, I can't remember the name of it exactly off the top of my head, but I found that pattern a while ago at this point, and I think it'd be really cute to use this yarn to make the inverted cats with it. So the blue is supposed to be my husband's, while this color, this like purpley blue mix, was supposed to be my color. And I think they'd look nice if we had like, if his toes were in this color and my toes were in the blue. I think that would look really cute if we had a matching pair of socks. As you can tell, I love my husband and I love matching with him. One more yarn I have is the Drops Baby Merino, the one I made the petrol out of. And this one is in the color Olive Mix. And this is the one I used for the brown and green cardigan. You can kind of see behind me as well. I'm thinking of making the gingerbread sweater by La Knitterie Modern, but doing a t-shirt instead of a sweater, so just doing shorter sleeves. I have enough of it. I think I have roughly a little over 1,050 yards, so that should be plenty of yarn. Worst case scenario, I just have a cropped tee, you know, like I think that'll be fine. The orange yarn I used in my Daft Days cardigan here, I kind of want to do something with because I have 2 full skeins of it left, and I really like its texture and its feel is nice. So I thought about maybe doing a Musselburgh hat with it or an Oslo hat. I'm not really sure. I think I'm leaning to Musselburgh because my ears get incredibly cold in the winter and it like physically causes pain because of how cold it gets. So I'm thinking Musselburgh just for those extra layers. But I don't know, let me know your opinions on either of those patterns. I've never used a petite knit pattern before, so I don't really know. And then the final yarn for this video, at least, I have more yarn that I don't have plans for, but these were the big ones that I'm really interested in working with. So this is the Plymouth yarn in the Homestead version. And this is 100% wool and it's 100 gram skein. It looks like it's roughly a worsted weight. It's a 2-ply. And I'm thinking, okay, walk with me here. So Pearl Soho has 2 different leg warmer patterns I've noticed. One of them is called, I think, like the Classic Cable Leg Warmers, which appears to use a slightly thicker yarn, but it's cabling, and I don't really want to deal with cabling for that if I am cabling for my birthday cardigan. And they also have a secondary pattern, which I will likely make independently from this yarn, but it's called the Stirrup Socks, which basically it just has a strap at the bottom of the leg warmer so that it will stay on your foot properly. And I think those would be really cute. They're like a classic like 3x3 rib, I think. And I think they look really cute. I think this yarn would just be too bulky for that, and it only comes in one size, so I'd have to grade it. I'd have to grade the pattern technically, and that would just be really not difficult actually, just be kind of annoying. Especially if I pause it, work on something else and come back to it. If I don't have it written down or whatever the notes are, I will probably not remember what I'm supposed to be doing with it. But luckily I have my little notebook, and so hopefully if I do use the stirrup socks, I'll remember. But those are just kind of the patterns right now that I'm looking at, or the yarns I'm really interested in working with again or for the first time. Let me know your thoughts below. Let me know whatever you're thinking. Let me know if there's a different sock pattern you think I'll like more, or what you think I should do with that cotton yarn. I don't really know. Regardless, if you want to see what I'm doing with this yarn or any other yarn, subscribe, leave a comment below, and I will see you next time. Bye.